embarrassed or that there's something wrong because we feel inside that something does not feel right. We don't feel safe. We feel like we could use a little extra. And that doesn't put us in a bad category or over there. It actually shows how strong we are. Hey, it's Rehope Coach here. Welcome back to my channel. Before we do anything, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Today, I want to talk about the stigma of mental health and what makes it so that we as a community have such an issue with seeking mental health treatment. It is difficult to process sometimes when we feel like everything is not going well, right? Repeatedly feeling sad, often not wanting to get up out the bed, irritable, or there have been things that have happened, recent loss. Loss could be not just someone passing away, but a loss of a relationship or loss of a pet, even loss of a job, which was a career. Oftentimes we don't really pay attention to the fact that that equates to loss as well. And this could cause a lot of depression, anxiety, and what tends to happen is we get scared. Adding on to the anxiety, fear sets in, and it's almost like I don't want to be put into that category. I don't want to have mental health, right? But mental health is a part of your emotional, physical, and psychological well-being. We all have mental health, okay? So first off, we've all been affected by our mental health. So if you've been out and someone has cut you off while you've been driving and that's upset you, that's affected your mental health. So no one is free from having to deal with their mental health, right? But what happens is that we get so embarrassed to have to share or feeling the need to even share, because you don't have to share, it's private, that you're going through something, you're struggling, and you want to reach out and to get the professional help. Oftentimes, what really is a huge issue is that we may be of a Christian, Baptist religion, belief, or whatever our religion is, and it goes against traditionally the thought of not keeping everything in-house with our churches and our clergy and taking it outside elsewhere to get that extra help, not relying on our prayer and worship and the Lord, and needing to get the extra help from professionals. But here we go, right? If we are dealing with something that is a physical health element, right? We could be in church and uplifted in prayer in regards to our physical health, knowing that we may be going into surgery, right? Or in the hospital, and that's okay. So what's the difference if we're dealing with something with our mental health and we may need some professional help with that? The same thing, lift the person up in prayer and be grateful that they have found someone, because that's very difficult to find the perfect match that can help them with their mental health. So a lot of times, I've been hearing this over and over again lately, is that folks feel banished from the church because of their mental health illness, their mental illness, what they're dealing with, their diagnoses, and the church doesn't understand their absence, you know, that may be impeding their attendance, because there are folks that are scared to come out the house. You know, social anxiety, agoraphobia, OCD, compulsions where the repetitiveness keeps them from going outside. You know, constantly checking the doorknobs, making sure things are locked and closed. Everything has to be in order. You know, social anxiety, getting outside causes them to want to go right back inside. So there's a lot that goes wrapped up into that. And, you know, the fear for the thought of them wanting to get some outside help and not just be solely relying on God to change it all. And that, you know, prayer would change it all. And the thought of sharing that they're getting the help will be an embarrassment, but it's not. You know, God will put that professional in your lineup, in your alignment, because it's very hard to get a perfect match. So if you find a professional that you can speak with, that you can connect with, that's a blessing in right there, right? So we have to get out of the feeling of being embarrassed or that there's something wrong because we feel inside that something does not feel right. We don't feel safe. We feel like we could use a little extra. And that doesn't put us in a bad category or over there. It actually shows how strong we are. That's a sign of strength. So go ahead, break these stigmas, break these generational curses, because this comes from history, from generation to generation to generation, and it's been passed down. But what we see that's happening is that our kids are committing suicide early. There are thoughts of suicide, and some of this that's not addressed in childhood runs on to our adulthood. So we have to get in touch with what's really bothering us and what's really going on, and get out of the idea that what everyone else thinks matters. Because what really matters is your mental health, your well-being, your emotional well-being, your psychological well-being, your physical well-being, and that you make it to the next day and the next day and the next day. So I hope that you got something good out of this episode. Please, before you go, like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with someone that you know and love that may have been struggling with mental health, illness, some emotional trauma, that could really use this message. Before you go, I also want you to take a look at my masterclass, my Rehope 360 masterclass, going from overlooked to overbooked. Because of these things that have been holding us back, we can move forward and obtain all our goals and dreams and reclaim our future.